Welcome everyone, this is Zon with Repo Products. Today's video is on Bluebeam Revu 2016 and the Markups list feature. Here I am in Bluebeam Revu 2016. I have a PDF file open and I have some markups already created. When you're working in Bluebeam Revu, any markups that you create, for example this one, gets automatically created and is automatically tracked and logged under what's known as the markups list. This can be found in the very bottom of your screen. Click this little dot and it expands. You can move this up so you can see more of the data. Any markup that you have created or that you select will automatically be highlighted in the markups list. In the markups list there are several columns. They give you subject, space, page label, lock, and others. There are other columns that are hidden by default, and if you click this command, you can see here's a long list of columns and choices. If they're checked, you can see it. If they're not checked, you don't see it. So for example, if I uncheck responsibility, that column disappears. If I click it again, it turns back on. I can left click and hold any column heading and move it, and it will jump from one space location to the other. So you can sort it this way, similar to Excel. You have the ability to click this cogwheel to manage your display of the columns and also to create custom columns. An example of a custom column is the responsibility one that I created earlier. If I go into the properties, you can see it is a column called responsibility. The cells are text-based and there is no default. You can also set it to multi-line if necessary. Another example would be material, and if I go into this, you can see it is a material column where the cell is a choice and the end user can pick between any one of these choices that are created. If I drill into a choice, an option, and go to modify this, you can see that it's called bamboo. The subject is flooring, and it has a default value for estimating purposes. So custom columns can also be created in the markups list. You have the ability to expand or collapse all of the markups, like so. You have the ability to turn the filter command on and filter, for example, by responsibility and say just the architect. And now only the markups that are filtered by responsibility show up. If I click this icon again, the filtering tool stops functioning. I have the ability to use the extended filtering tool within this search field here to type whatever I want. Let's say, for example, I type in pen. Now it's only going to show me markups that are abiding by that search condition. You also have the ability, depending on what selected markup that you have, you can input the status level, say accepted, rejected, canceled, or completed. So we're going to say, for example, rejected, and it will show up in the status column here. You can always right-click any markup and reply. So maybe you are a subcontractor and you have to reply to that comment saying, need more data. I am running a dual screen, and unfortunately the half of this window jumps to the other side of the screen, but you can still see that information here. You have the ability as well to specify how you want to export the data out into different forms of summaries. Now, in order to use these features, you want to ensure first off you have only the data you want to display in the markups list. The more you display in the markups list, the more information gets exported out. So an example would be the client wants me to create a PDF summary report with links for all the markups that the architects are responsible for. If that's the case, I would filter by responsibility and say architect. And now only those markups are showing up. In addition, Maybe I don't need to have with and author create columns to be displayed. So I can go back here and I can uncheck with and uncheck the author, and those columns would disappear. All these other columns that are visible that do not have data will also be exported out. So it really behooves you to go through the process of making sure only the columns of data that you want to display in this markups list is what's going to be exported. Now that I have my list set up the way that I want, I can go to click Summary and say PDF Summary. And I could tell it to look at all of the pages or just the current page. I can include or exclude markups and columns. I can create hyperlinks automatically. Most of this is set by default, which is a good default set of choices. You can specify a name for that PDF summary report. You can specify the style of how the data is to be displayed, and the previews can be small, medium, or large, and what paper size. If I click OK, it's going to generate this PDF summary report, which is a PDF paper, and that file is actually the last document of your original document. It basically creates it and attaches it to the end. So I can zoom in here and I can see the markup summary, and it lists that particular markup. Now if I click this image, it will take me to that markup right away. And that's a good quick overview on the markups list feature within Bluebeam Revu. Thank you for watching.